Europe is preparing a major escalation in the Ukraine war. Brussels is now signaling readiness to deploy 10,000 to 15,000 Western troops to Ukraine, without United Nations approval, a move that could risk direct confrontation with Russia.
The plans for what the security guarantees for Ukraine could look like have already been finalized. They were essentially drawn up by military experts from the British and French armed forces in cooperation with Brussels.
According to diplomatic sources, France and the United Kingdom are leading the initiative, proposing a ground deployment under the banner of a ceasefire monitoring mission, one that would last at least 6 months after hostilities end.
They were essentially drawn up by military experts from the British and French armed forces in cooperation with Brussels.
The most controversial element: no UN mandate is required. Diplomats say Paris and London are prepared to deploy even without EU or UN authorization, relying solely on an invitation from Kyiv.
France and Great Britain are prepared to participate in monitoring a ceasefire, even without a mandate from the United Nations or the European Union.
The mission would not be limited to land. Ukraine's neighbors would monitor air and border activity, while Turkey is expected to oversee the Black Sea, expanding Western oversight across multiple strategic fronts. Moscow is watching closely. The Kremlin has warned that deploying Western troops, even under ceasefire cover, could undermine peace talks and provoke a stronger Russian response. Russian Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said, "This terrorist action aims to derail the negotiation process." Ukraine has rejected Russia's claims, insisting that international monitoring is essential to prevent ceasefire violations and further escalation. With no UN approval, no NATO vote, and Western troops preparing to move, Europe now stands at a crossroads. What is being framed as peacekeeping could instead test Russia's red lines and pull the continent closer to war.